up, Knuckleheads? Welcome to our first installment of the Knuckle Sandwich Show. This is a show where we have no producers, editors, or the ability to take Dan Patrick-like pee breaks. I'm your host, Mike Riley. The goal of the show is simple. It's to help tear down the wall of ignorance surrounding MMA and bring widespread awareness to this great sport. Here's how the show rolls. 3 rounds on the hot topics that all the websites are talking about and what you, the bloggers, are blogging about. So, let's get to it. Round number 1. There's the children's diving board, the amateur diving board, and the pros have their own too. But last night at UFC 128, John Bones Jones just dove off the Olympic diving board, and there's a steep climb and a deep plunge for anybody that's going to try to match him. Raising the bar he did. Unbelievable performance. As I predicted with all my knuckleheads, Jones would smash Mauricio Shogun Rua en route to becoming the youngest UFC light heavyweight champion in UFC history. Spinning back fist, spinning back kicks, spinning back elbows, side kicks from the Muay Thai stance, bots rooting like liver shots, and even Jay Leno chin shots from inside the guard. Pretty impressive. There's going to be a bunch of MMA schools on Monday with the partners holding the focus mitts, trying to get that one down. With that said, does John Jones' performance now give the fans the itch to see Anderson Silva versus John Jones at 205? Or would you still prefer to see GSP versus Anderson Silva? My take is this. Anderson has already dominated 205 every time he's fought there. He's beat men like James Irvin, Forrest Griffin, and last night John Jones made Shogun look like an 8th grader trying out for the varsity team. With that said, Joe Rogan once referred to Anderson Silva as a ballet of violence. A ballet of violence. I like that. And if that figure of speech defines Jones's performance last night, we need to let these two guys dance. Give us your thoughts on Facebook. Search for the Knuckle Sandwich Show and let us know what you think. Getting into round number 2. Uriah Faber, another reason why I thought that this show would be huge. Although not the greatest performance of his career, he showed why he will be the most dominant force at 135 moving forward. It took him until the second round to really get his timing down, but when he relaxed, his reflexes, timing, and speed were just too much for Eddie Wineland. Not only did he beat the former WEC Bantamweight champion, he has previously chalked up the only loss of current champion Dominic Cruz. He showed this time and time again when he was a WEC featherweight, and he ruled that division for a long time. He strung a 13-fight win streak, and he defended his title 5 times. It's incredible. Now at 10 pounds lighter, expect Faber to be the division's lion. I gotta say this. Let's take a glance at Faber's record. There's a lot of people that are pro Faber, and then there's some haters out there. For you haters, I call haters the patty cakes. For you patty cakes, 25-4, and let's really break down all his losses. The first loss came to Tyson Griffin, and you gotta admit, this guy was carrying a 40-pound surplus of walk weight over the California kid, a fight that Uriah probably shouldn't have to take, but had to because really they didn't have the light divisions back then, and he fought that at 155. The next two came from Mike Thomas Brown. And the first one, let's credit Mike Brown. It's a pretty good fight. He caught Uriah when he was trying to do the spinning back elbow. But really the second one was a war where Uriah broke both hands and still managed to hard it out for 5 rounds to a close decision. Lastly, the only fight that Faber truly got outmatched was when his last loss came by succumbing to the nasty leg chops from one of the game's top pound-for-pound fighters in Jose Aldo. He too is also the current featherweight champion of the world. If it's not Uriah, who will take over the bantamweight division? Right now, Dominic Cruz is the champ. Who do you think amongst all the knuckleheads out there that will be the next top contender for that division? Now, let's get to our final topic of the show, round number 3. As stated by John Jones last night, there's going to be a huge target on his back now, and the first is going to come from Rashad Evans. And as Jones stated, he's going to be ready to fire back. Which brings us to that final topic, knuckleheads. Do you think that teammates from the same camp or gym should fight one another? There's a lot of pros and cons of this. There's a lot of people that are for it, a lot of people that are against it. And Dana White's view is, let's just fight. So, let's face the facts here. Although Bones and Rashad trained together at Greg Jackson's camp in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and they actually grew up 90 minutes down the road on the I-90 stretch in upstate New York, these guys have never claimed to be best friends. In this situation, I say let them dance. There is, however, some other teammates that could face similar situations. With the acquisition of Strikeforce, a huge purchase by Zuffa, a potential welterweight matchup between Jake Shields and Nick Diaz would be huge. It would make for a big pay-per-view draw. Another example is Josh Koscheck and John Fitch. These are two guys that proclaim that they'll never fight each other, but they're two standouts from American Kickboxing Academy. They train at the same gym, and who knows if they will ever square off at welterweight. Lastly, another pay-per-view card that makes a lot of sense right now is Uriah Faber versus Joseph Benavidez. Some of you might think that Benavidez is Uriah's butt pimple, but before you dismiss the credibility of this young kid, he's fast, he's smooth, he's savvy, and guess what? He's got a 14-2 record, and his only 2 losses came from none other than Dominic Cruz, the current bantamweight champion of the world. Tell us what you think by blogging on our wall, finding us on Facebook by searching for The Knuckle Sandwich Show. Your thoughts can also be heard by emailing us at theknucklesandwichshow@gmail.com. Last but not least, poll time. Just like SureDog.com's The Pros Pick, this is our version called The Joe's Pick. The question is, who do you rather see in a super fight? Anderson the Spider Silva versus George Ross St. Pierre, or Anderson the Spider Silva versus John Bones Jones? Email us at theknucklesandwichshow@gmail.com or give us your answer on our Facebook wall or find us and friend us at The Knuckle Sandwich Show. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, let's get more media, gyms, shows, and fight cards so we can help spread this sport and make this sport the greatest of them all. I'm Mike Riley, hitting you with the 1, 2, and 3.